from Miami, Florida, we have MC and performing artist Shottie. On the eve of his new album, Pulp Nonfiction, we're going to talk to him about this new project, a series of other albums that he's released over 2024, multiple singles, and more. Let's go ahead and bring him in. Peace, my brother. How you doing?
Peace, peace, man. Can't complain. Can't complain, bro. Another
My
day.
bro, I hear you, man. Hey, man, it's good to see you again, to build with you. My brother is the GOAT, relentless pursuit of, you see those goats climbing on the side of the on the
The
side of the
side of the
mountain?
mountain. Yeah, yeah. That's what's up.
That's my boy Shotty.
Man, let's go. Let's go, man.
My
Oh yeah.
bro. We're on the eve of the new project, Pulp Nonfiction, dropping April 4th. Talk to us about the new album.
Shit, man. This shit. Well, for those that don't know, Lupara is the production team behind the album. Uh, they put out a project with this really dope MC out of Chicago called Water. You know what I'm saying? And I remember it was like maybe like a year, maybe a little more. They somebody on Twitter was like, I think it was Mighty Healthy. He's part of the crew, right? He was like, who should Lupara work with next for an album? And so I know Mighty Healthy because he's from Miami. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
also I had a relationship with Pharma, who's also in the crew because I did an album with him. You know what I'm saying? So I threw my name in the hat, and they liked the idea. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of been a long journey since then to finally get to this point where we're releasing the album, man. So I'm happy to be here, man. You know what I'm saying?
That's dope. That's dope. Pulp Nonfiction, classic movie, Pulp Fiction. It's what blew Tarantino up. You know what I'm saying? Like he was known for his writing, like another screenwriter that I know, right? For y'all that don't know, Shadi went to film school and is, not only a killer with the mic, but he's just good with words. But that movie blew Tarantino up. What was the inspiration behind, connecting these projects?
Well, for one, I'm a huge anybody that knows me knows I'm a huge Quentin Tarantino fan. You know what I'm saying? Like whenever I'm in my film snob bag, I always say like Kubrick's my favorite director, but if I'm being real, if I'm keeping it a buck, it's Tarantino. And I think the reason for that is because Tarantino's a guy that he's one of the few directors that always starts with the blank page. You know what I'm saying? You can't really say that about Kubrick or Scorsese and some of my other favorites. You know, they adapt screenplays or they'll take a screenplay that somebody else wrote or whatever and they'll make their film, which I don't think holds any less like artistic merit.
Right.
But the fact that Tarantino each and every time starts with the blank page, to me, that puts him above the rest. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
how that connects to this album, bro, I'll be honest. Like my boy Big J, I had posted something about Pulp Fiction a while back, and my boy Curly J uh wrote Pulp Nonfiction in the comments, and I was like, damn, that's a fire ass name. You know what
That's
I'm saying? So
dope.
right, so
Yeah.
really the reason we're here is because I stole the name from him. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and then it also, like like things in Miami are real. You've lived a very real life. The streets are real. It's nonfiction. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Because the pulp element is the entertainment value that I bring into the music. You know what I'm saying? There's some like exaggerated elements and there's some extra sauce in there. But the nonfiction is to let you know that this shit all stems from a real place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's dope, bro. The Talk to us about the release, because it's Friday.
Yeah, man. It's so the release party. I always like to do a listening party with all my projects, and I was thinking about it today, and I kind of correlated it a little bit to my film background because it's like when you do a film, you have a screening.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that element of like connecting the music directly to the audience and everybody listen to, like congregating to listen to the music all at once, like that's something special and that's something that I don't see too much with like music releases. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So it's almost like bringing the idea of a screening into the music world. You know what I'm saying? So like those are usually, brother. It's usually such a dope ass vibe in there, man. You know what I'm saying? You get everybody's niced up. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's chilling. and you play the album, bro. And it's a it's kind of like watching the film in the theater and shit, man. So I'm excited, man. This Friday, Mixed Masters Miami is going down, the Pulp Nonfiction album premiere. You know what I'm saying? Really, it's a listening session, but I like to call it a premiere.
Yeah, because
With
it's like a premiere. Yeah, it's
it's
like the album premiere. That's dope.
right. You know what I'm saying? So, bro, like I said, I'm just happy to be here, man. This album there's so much fly shit on this album, man. And this album has gone through a couple different iterations too, because when I attached the Pulp Nonfiction name to the album, bro, I was like almost done with the album at that point. You know what I'm saying? And then I was like, damn, some of these songs don't fit the concept. So I literally threw half the shit out.
Wow.
There's like six fucking tracks I got rid of. You know what I'm saying? And made six new ones and shit. So this it's been a journey to get here, but we're finally here,
Yeah,
dog.
so it's like one cohesive project now that has been worked and reworked.
It's been reworked. We called it a rewrite. You know what I'm saying? And we had to do a little page one rewrite and shit. And we kept a couple of the ones that worked with the concept, but there was a couple that just didn't. You know what I'm saying? And also it's like working with seven different producers that all have such different flavors. You know what I'm saying? Like it took some fine tuning to make sure that all the songs were kind of on the same page and like playing nice with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
the first instinct when they all were sending me beats, it's like, bro, it was like a barrage, bro. I was getting beats from Australia, beats from Copenhagen, beats from from London. You know what I'm saying? And the natural inclination was just to pick the dopest shit from each one, right? But that doesn't always mesh well together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it was a learning process and shit. I had to cut some songs that I really like, but it was all for the better, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Can you explain that to us? Because you talked about like Lupara produced it. Are they a production team?
Yeah, it's like a crew of super producers. So it's like Machacha's in it, Pharma, SB11, Flu, Mighty Healthy, Hobgoblin, Bohemia Lynch,
This is a who's
and Timepiece.
who. This is like a
It's
who's
like
who of hip hop.
it's like all stars. You know what I'm saying? So like, I mean, that's what drew my attention when I first seen that they were looking for somebody to do their second project and shit, man. So and I'm already down with a couple of them. You know what I'm saying? I got the project with Machacha. I got a project with Pharma. Mighty Healthy's the homie. You know what I'm saying? And I got some shit with Flu, and now I'm homies with all of them and shit. But that's definitely what attracted me to the project. I was like, man, that's too many monsters on one project. You know what I'm saying? So, but it had its difficulties, but I think we made magic, bro. I think we made some magic. You know what I'm saying?
That's dope. That's dope. The does Lupara mean something? Do you know if it has a meaning?
Bro, I think it does.
Yeah.
I'd be
But
lying to you
I
if I
gotta interview them.
Yeah, right. You gotta ask them that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? The shit already existed when I came
Yeah,
around. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. Because I saw their page, Lupara Gang, but I didn't realize that it was all those heavyweights.
Yeah, man. It's
That's
it's it's
crazy.
kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? And I happen to know like some of the MCs that they're working with now after my project, and man, they got some shit coming, dog.
That's
They
dope.
got some shit coming. Yeah.
That's dope. Just thinking about your catalog, your incredible catalog. You've had multiple really um, aesthetically pleasing merchandise rollouts. Everything from vinyl to cassettes to gear. What are your thoughts on pulp nonfiction?
As far as like the rollout,
The
the merch and stuff.
Yeah, what kind of merch are you planning on doing,
Oh,
or are you?
wait till y'all see the cassettes that we cooked up, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm literally just waiting for them to come in, and we're gonna debut them at the album premiere. But yeah, we got some crazy, crazy, crazy shit coming. See, now with since we last spoke, I started my record label with my homie Rich, Father's Day Records. You know what I
Yeah, I've
mean? So
been seeing that around. Okay, that's dope.
yeah, yeah, man. So now, we're able to put a little bit more capital into these releases, you know what I'm saying, to help spruce them up and make them as fly as possible. So yeah, we're pressing our own cassettes for Pulp Nonfiction. We're pressing our own merch and all that, and then the vinyls we're doing it through Copenhagen Crates,
Yeah,
and that's gonna be amazing.
that's dope. That's so dope, man. So this album, so basically, if you want one of the cassettes, go to the album premiere. for this
Go to the
joint.
album premiere, or you could get them from me directly. We're gonna do a Bandcamp bundle also, that where you can get the cassette, a Pulp Nonfiction shirt, and also the Bandcamp download. For a nice price or whatever on Bandcamp. And we're gonna, bro, like I said at the top of the year, right? Like this year is about creating the connection directly, between us and our fam. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not going through these digital platforms exclusively, like trying to build a more real connection, you know what I'm saying, with the people that support our shit. So this is part of it, man. It's like pressing our own tapes and doing our own merch drops and shit like that. It takes more work, obviously, than just like letting somebody else handle it. But I think it goes a long way into establishing that connection with us and our supporters, man.
Yeah, and Shotty, you've been really at the cutting edge of this for a long time of trying interesting different ways of providing your music direct to consumer and also as the artist being compensated, right? Because Spotify and basically the different streaming platforms don't really compensate the artists. They get compensated when you see what they're making. You're like, bro, there's money in music, right? But
It's
the
crazy.
artists, yeah, the artists, they're not. You got to find other ways to monetize, and you've really been on the cutting edge of this for years.
Well, I mean, it's by necessity. You know what I'm saying? I wish that we can make money off Spotify because that makes everything easy, right? Because everybody has it. But since they're not going to break off the the bread, then we got to find another way to get the bread. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a person that, bro, if it's one thing you can say about me is I'll bet on myself. You know what I mean? So I'll take those risks. And if it ends up being an L, then I'll take that. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? But I'd rather carry the L on my shoulders than blame it on somebody else. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather do that and take the risk and shit because I feel like the reward is ultimately gonna be better.
absolutely. Absolutely, that's dope. Yeah, and if you're basically just putting it out there straight to Spotify or going with somebody else and letting them do it, there's a learning that you receive in taking L's or taking, it not coming out exactly as planned, but now right? Like you can't get that knowledge any other way than to do it.
Yeah, and that's honestly, bro. I've gamified it in my own mind. You know what I'm saying? Like that's to me, trying to crack the code is kind of half part of the fun. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like I'm really out here trying to crack this code of making a living on my music. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I'll try all the different shit that I gotta try as long as it aligns with my voice and with my brand. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm willing to try it, bro. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Speaking of your voice, you've been doing some real interesting things with your creativity. There's a track, a project. I wanted to ask you about it. Alkalines, right? Like the energy is incredible. Um, Talk to us about like where that's going. Is this a whole project? Was that you working with? Talk to us about that live instrumentation.
No, Alkalines is actually one of the joints off Pulp Nonfiction. That's
Okay.
that's one of the joints that my man Flew from Australia produced, and I think the idea was so there's like a certain like drum roll in the beat, right? And the homie Rich, my business partner, he was like, "Yo, maybe the video we should get a drummer to do that drum roll, right?" And that little nugget of an idea kind of spiraled into, nah, well, let's make the whole video on some like '90s MTV, you know what I'm saying, like early '90s grunge shit. Because bro, if you came up in the era where I came up, it's like even if you were like a hip hop guy, Nirvana and all that shit was coming up around the
Oh,
same time.
oh
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So like
yeah,
if you're gonna front like you weren't fucking with that shit, I don't even believe you, bro. You were
yeah,
lying. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So
There
so
was Cube and Nirvana. You know what I'm saying? They were happening at the same
at
time.
the same time, and like Nirvana fans fucked with Cube and vice versa.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that was kind of like an homage to that. But it started with this little sprinkle of yo, let's do the drummer. I was like, fuck that. Let's get the whole band. Let's get a dope rehearsal space and let's make this look like a old MTV grunge video. You know what I'm saying?
So like tell us about the band and all of that. Did you know them or was it just hired like,
No,
talent?
that's the homie, like, so I hit up the homie Soup because the homie Superman, he's part of a group called Group Therapy. You know what I'm saying? And it's, bro, they're a dope ass band. They do original shit. They do covers. Um, and they also hooked it up with they had the connect for the rehearsal space too. You know what I mean? So yeah, shout out to Soup because he hooked that whole shit up, man. But yo, in shooting the video, we had the track playing in the background and then they were playing on top of the track, right? But at one point we were having so much fun jamming. We're like, yo, bro, just cut the track. Let's just do it live. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And bro, that night ended up just being like a dope ass jam session. You know what I mean? And also I got to hear what the song might potentially sound like, in a live setting and shit with like live instruments and shit like that. So I'm playing with the idea of doing like a Shottie unplugged,
Mhm.
maybe like performance, you know what I'm saying, and doing some kind of event around that and shit. Like I'm playing with the idea.
I think it's dope, man. I'm a hip hop head. I love hip hop, but the energy and power of live instrumentation in person, you can't beat that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
different. It's different, and
it's
it gave
different.
the song this energy. It just even on being on stage, you move different. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah,
like it's just the feeling is different and shit, man. So nah, it was super cool.
that's dope. There's another single that you recently released, and the music video is so powerful, which is Yellow Cab. That song is um a beautiful song. I think that everybody's got parents, and everybody could relate to the sacrifice that many of our parents have done. And I'm the child of two immigrants. You know what I'm saying? So I could really relate to that story. I think a lot of people can. Talk to us about Yellow Cab, the inspiration behind it.
Man, not to get all fucking like hippie with it and shit, but like that songs like that is what, like, to me, the most spiritual experiences that I have in my life are like creating music. Because for some, it's like sometimes I black out and I wake up and there's a song and I don't know how it happened. You know what I'm saying? And Yellow Cab was kind of one of those, man. I didn't go in to the writing process like planning to make a song about my pops or like a song in like, in my dad's perspective and shit. But that's just what the beat told me to do. You know what I mean? And as soon as I wrote that first line, like, my pops drove a yellow cab. I was like, oh, this is where we're going with it. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of just followed that thread. Um, and yeah, it was just just the writing of it. You know what I'm saying? And trying to get in touch with where my pops was at when he made certain decisions in his life. I had never done that thought exercise before.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Before writing the song and shit. So yeah, it was a powerful experience, man. And then hooking up with Belief, yo, the way Belief did the video is fucking mind blowing to me. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
and but most importantly, it's like he knew how much the song meant to me, so he really took his time with that shit. He really took his time and made sure he got everything right. And yo, imagine my feeling like seeing the pictures come to life. You know what I'm saying? Like I showed it, I sent it to my mom. She cried. Like, it's powerful, man.
The footage, like the song is so powerful and personal, but the footage, the video footage, bring it to life. Did you have all of that footage? Did you give it to him and he kind of went through it all? How did that come together?
No, that's the crazy part. I don't have any video footage of my pops. Those are all photographs. And Belief used like AI to bring them to
Kind of make a
life.
move and everything.
Right, right. Yeah, man. So imagine from my perspective, I don't have video footage of my dad. So I haven't seen my dad in motion since he passed, since I was a little kid. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, like that's what I mean. Like Belief really knew like how delicate of a topic this is for me and shit, and he handled it with it just perfectly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Salute to you, my bro, on that song, on opening, your life and your story and your parents' story to the world, because there's so many people that can connect to that story. But it's your story. You're being like you're open. You're being vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? But salute to you, man. You like made a lot of people, I'm sure, call their parents. You know what I'm saying? And appreciate like the struggle and everything that we're standing on the shoulders of giants. You know what I'm saying? None of us got here by ourselves.
Yep.
So you help remind. A lot of times hip hop's like, who can out rhyme who, and I love it for that, the bravado. But you
Right.
truly were a poet on this, bro.
Thank you, man. And that means a lot, bro. And you know what means a lot too, man? It's like so many people have hit me up like on the DMs and not even like publicly, you know what I'm saying? Like people have hit me up on the DMs to share stories about like their pops and bro, I didn't know I knew so many people whose dads also drove a cab. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? Like crazy.
Wow.
My boy Salazar, one of my best friends, bro. He's like, bro, my dad drove a cab too. I was like, damn, that's crazy, man. So a lot of people have hit me up, have told me that the song, you know, meant something to them and shit. And bro, that's the best compliment you can receive, man. It's like you said, like hip hop's a lot of braggadocio, a lot of ego, and that's cool. I love it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I came from like battling people on the corner and shit like that, so I get it. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes we got to do more. Sometimes we got to do a little more. You know what I mean? To like anybody, there's so many dope rappers out there, man. Anybody could rap. Like there's a lot of motherfuckers that could rap. So just being able to rap alone doesn't impress me that much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what sets somebody apart is their life story because nobody else could duplicate that, bro. My experience is my experience. You know what I'm saying? And just the fact that so many people could relate to it, man, that shit's so dope to
Yeah.
me, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And help people know you better, and help people feel like they know your dad and
Mm,
your parents.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like it's really an incredible song.
thank you.
Um, you have a tremendous discography, but you have some recent albums that I haven't had a chance to, talk with you about. You got that joint, Alligator Alley with Machacha, which is a banger. Machacha super producer.
Yeah.
Talk to us about Alligator Alley, how that came together, how your connection with Machacha came about, because he's like one of the most in-demand producers, period.
Yeah, what's funny is I started on Pulp Nonfiction before I started Alligator Alley, right?
Oh,
But you know, Machacha's in the crew, so while I'm working on Pulp Nonfiction, Machacha's like, "Yo, we should do an album too," and I was like, "Yeah, I'm down." You know what I'm saying? And he had already started sending me packs and shit like that, and the vibe that I caught with Machacha for some reason was just like it was so quick and so
yeah,
natural that
yeah,
we got the project done in no time, bro. Like a month and a half, the project was done. You know what I'm saying? And so we ended up fast tracking it or whatever. But yeah, man, it was just to work with Machacha, like you said. Like the dude is a fucking
yeah.
legend, man. He puts out like 25 albums a year and shit. You know what I'm saying? So
And hand
yeah,
picks the creme de la creme of MCs, this thing of ours. So I mean it's an incredible head nod to your lyrical ability and your voice and your artistry. The goat farm, you know what I'm saying? It's definitely a head nod to that. But it's a really, really dope album. Who came up with the name Alligator Alley?
that was me. Alligator Alley is a well, I didn't come up with the name. Alligator Alley is an actual stretch of road here in South Florida, right? So you can definitely see, you'll probably see alligators, first of all, you know what I'm saying? That's why it's called that. But it's a road that's famous for a lot of illicit things get smuggled down Alligator Alley, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, oh, got it.
But like one of the main reasons I wanted to like kind of attach that imagery to the album is like I feel like when people think about Miami, they think about the beach, they think about Miami Vice, they think about, you know, so like certain imagery and shit, but people forget like this shit is swampland out here too, man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like on some like the nature over here is kind of different from the rest of the country too, man. So I feel like it's just an angle, it's just like a certain set of imagery that hasn't really been pushed for Miami and shit. So I kind of wanted to bring that to the forefront a little
Yeah,
bit.
my mom used to live in Miami, and you kind of stay away from bodies of water when it's dark. You know what I'm saying? You gotta
Right.
like your head gotta be on a swivel because when you least expect it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You can find an alligator in your swimming pool type shit, man.
Yeah, yeah, they could pop out.
Yeah.
Uh, Another project that you have, speaking of Miami, is MIA Aliens with Money
Mm.
Mowgli. Dope album, dope project. Talk to us about that collaboration with him and that album.
Man, Mowgli's one of the greatest, bro. Like he's by far one of the best MCs that I've worked with and that I know. You know what I'm saying? And me and Mowgli have been putting in work in the city for a long, long time, bro. So it was just a matter of time for, and that's the homie too. You know what I'm saying? So it was a matter of time for us to get together and finally do an album. But we didn't do it until, and I've told this story a few times, but it's just the truth is the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't actually start doing the album until Marlin Records got involved, and when he started sending us beats and shit, we were like, because at first we were gonna do a compilation of a bunch of producers or whatever and just pick the best beats. But when Marlin sent his beats over, we were like, oh nah, we got to do the whole album with this guy. You know what I'm saying? So he was like the missing ingredient that finally, like, you know what I'm saying, like there was a little kick in the ass there and shit. But nah, bro, it's bro, like I said, this shit is a long time coming, and bro, I think we really created like a local Miami hip hop fucking masterpiece, if I don't say so myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So shout out to Mowgli, shout out to Marlon Records.
that's dope. Had you guys done any songs together before doing the project?
Bro, we have so many songs together. That was part of the reason we always talked about doing a project. It's like whenever people reach out to me for a feature, Money Mowgli's usually already on the song, you know what I'm saying? And vice versa. Like people reach out to Mowgli and I'm already on the song and shit, you know what I'm saying? So for whatever reason, like people always put us together on songs and shit.
Yeah,
Uh so yeah, man, the universe just universe that shit, you know?
yeah. He's got such a dope voice, such a dope flow.
Yeah, man. He's crazy. He's incredible, man.
Yeah,
Great lyricist too.
yeah,
It might that might get overlooked because his flow is so dope, but he's a great lyricist, man.
yeah, yeah. The other project I wanted to ask you about, which is another 2024 project. These are all recent projects. You've been incredibly prolific in releasing all the content you've been releasing. Is another joint that's got your dad on the
Yeah,
cover, right?
yeah,
Which is Nothing Changed Except Everything, you know?
yeah.
And we were talking about Yellow Cab, and that's another one on which, you're reflecting on your story. Talk to us about that album.
Yeah, I think that was the album that first like broke the ice for me to even mention my pops. Like this, you understand, man? Like, that shit comes from a very deep place for me, right? So as long as I've been rapping, which is a long time, I'm not gonna say how long because I'll age myself, you know what I'm saying? But as long as I've been rapping, I never really even mentioned that shit, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
with Nothing Changes Except Everything, that was my album with Pharma Beats,
yeah,
who's in my opinion one of the best producers in the universe. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Um, yeah, that was the one that kind of broke the ice, and like the song Yellow Cab doesn't happen if not for that album. You know what I'm saying? That was the one that kind of like said, okay, it's okay to, you know, maybe it's because I have kids now, bro. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
That I feel like it's okay to talk about this shit, right? So yeah, man, I think Nothing Changed is the one that kind of broke the ice for me.
Yeah, that's dope, man. Yeah, that's true. As you have children and get older, your perspective on life changes, and you start to realize things weren't as important become important, and things that were important are less important. You know what I'm saying?
100%,
Yeah,
100%. Yeah,
yeah,
and I think it gave me like the freedom to get a little deep with it, right? Like the things that I couldn't get from my pops, now I have kids and I can give them those things. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And that for some reason it like gave me the freedom to finally come out and talk about this shit. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. That's dope, bro. That's dope.
Thank you, man.
The Yeah, the album dropping this Friday, Pulp Nonfiction, um, you know, setting off 2025 right. But you got this song, Yellow Cab, that's been getting a lot of attention, been moving people's hearts and spirits. Um, After this album, I know that you're always working. You release normally multiple projects in a year. Is Yellow Cab a part of another project? What are your thoughts with what's coming later this year?
No, Yellow Cab's also on Pulp Nonfiction.
Oh,
Yeah. Yellow Cab's on Pulp Nonfiction, man. So like all that, the mother load is dropping on Friday. You know what I'm saying? For at least for Pulp Nonfiction wise. But yeah, the next two albums after that are already done, bro. They're already in the bag. You know what I'm saying? So it's a matter of dropping them strategically now and shit. But yeah, we definitely got big plans for the rest of the year, man.
Yeah. How do you plan out the rollouts? You've got projects that are completed. How, as an independent artist, where you're the artist, the lyricist, the MC, the face, but at the same time the CEO, A&R, the decision maker in regards to the marketing strategy. How do you what helps you figure out, the timing and the rollout and things like that?
I think like the motto, since me and Rich started, you know, really turning this into like a business venture, the motto is to try to squeeze the juice, try to squeeze the most juice out of every release.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so the reason that I record so far in advance is because when my next release is coming out, I don't want to be focused on recording music. I want to be focused on creating content and marketing strategies and everything that's going to help support those projects. So I come from a little bit of a marketing
Yeah.
background when I was in the corporate
Yeah.
world and shit. So I understand the importance of the rollout, man. The rollout is everything, bro.
Yeah.
Like if you drop the ball on the rollout, the project could go completely overlooked, and that happened. Look, on nothing changed except everything. If I'm being completely honest, you know what I'm saying. I think I botched that rollout. If I'm being completely honest, you know what I'm saying. Like that was a greater album to me than than what we got back for it. And I don't mean financially. I mean like even like getting it out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that album, I feel like should have. It might be my favorite album, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so I feel like that one should have gotten way more attention than it did. Uh, but you can't spell lesson without L, bro. Without
Good.
the L, you know. What I'm saying? So it is what it is, bro. You know what I mean? That it's there. It's in the ether. You could always go listen to it. You know what I mean? But from now on, it's like we're trying to squeeze the juice out of every single release, man.
That's dope. If you could just share some gems with us for anybody who like listens to this, watches this, catches a snippet, what what components does a good rollout? What ideally does a rollout look like?
I mean, I feel like it's different for everybody else, and I'm not trying to like cop out, right? But the
Yeah.
one constant is you got to get in people's faces, man, and you got to give them a reason. I'll put it like this: you have to get people emotionally involved in what you're doing, bro. That's like marketing is really what you're doing is you're appealing to people's emotions. You know what I'm saying? So like you got to give people a reason. It ain't about like, yo, I'm dropping this album and it's gonna cost 9.90. As soon as you say the price, you
Yeah.
lost. You know what I'm saying? It's not about the price. It's not about none of that. It's about people connecting emotionally to what you do. So whatever that may be in the rollout, whether it's video content, even whether it's like talking head content, maybe like
Yeah.
for a guy like Russell, right? Like Russ, what's his name? La Russell,
Yeah.
right? Like he uses unconventional means to promote his shit, but it works for him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like figure out what works for you, what works for your voice, and most of all, get people emotionally invested in what you do.
That's dope, man. Shottie with the gems. You've mentioned multiple times, and I wanted to make sure we gave it some attention. You started a record label. You're now releasing music through your record label, and that's also managing the merchandise, the tapes, and different aspects of the whole enterprise. Talk to us about the record label.
Yeah, man. Shout out to my boy Rich, Father's Day Records. You know what I'm saying? Like he came in at a time where it was just like the perfect timing. You know what I'm saying? And that's my homie for a lot of years. We had discussed this idea of it. You know what I'm saying? But me, I'm always like go go go, and I'm also a person that likes to do everything himself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it took a little bit of time for him to finally be like, "Yo, bro, let's fucking do this," and me being ready to do it. You know what I mean? And it's been nothing but a blessing, dog. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just about like a cash infusion. It's having somebody there that cares about
Yeah.
the shit just as much as you do. You know what I'm saying? That shit is invaluable, man. So, you know, just the act of throwing ideas back and forth and shit, that shit always keeps the energy in motion. And
Yeah.
it helps, bro. It just helps boost everything. You know, it's also great having a bad cop to your good cop. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah. And somebody to keep you accountable.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And that's dope. That's really dope. Um, it, are you thinking about expanding it out to more artists?
yeah, yeah, 100%. Um, After we complete this mission, you know what I'm saying? Like the right now, the mission is to get the Shottie music to the world. And once we do that, once we feel like the mission is complete, you know what I'm saying? Then absolutely, bro. I would love to. There's so many artists in Miami and even outside Miami that I would love to help if I can. But you know, to be honest, right now I'm not in any position to help anyone.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So I'm using the resources that we do have to try to put myself in that position to where later I could help out. You know what I'm saying? The local scene.
that's dope. That's dope. Pulp Nonfiction dropping on Friday. You've already dropped multiple videos for it. Are there any more videos? Because you're very much a video person. Your background in film also dope. Catalog of dope videos. Is there more video work coming for this project?
Absolutely. I don't want to say too much, but absolutely. Like we have some people flying in from out of town to shoot type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like we got some super dope surprises coming. I don't want to say too much, but yeah, very
Understood.
very
Understood.
soon.
That's the mystique.
Yeah, yeah. Very very soon. You know what I'm saying?
That's dope, brother. That's dope. Congratulations on an incredible project. For anybody that's in South of Florida or that can make it to the event, how do they go to the album premiere on Friday?
Mixed Masters Miami. You can Google the address. If I knew it by heart, I would say it, but I don't. But Google Mixed Masters Miami. We'll be there from 9 to 1, and just pull up. You know what I'm saying? Just pull up, walk in, and it's gonna be none but love, bro.
That's dope. And for the folks that aren't in the South of Florida, how do they go about getting the album, listening to the album?
The album is dropping 4/5, right? But we're probably gonna drop it a day early. We'll probably drop it on 4/4, with it being Bandcamp Friday. If you guys don't know about Bandcamp Fridays, that's I think the first or the first Friday of every month. Bandcamp doesn't charge the artist their usual fee, which is 15%. So it makes a big fucking difference. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? So we'll probably drop it on Friday for Bandcamp Friday. And right now it's gonna be for right now it's just gonna be on Bandcamp.
that's dope.
You know, we'll let the DSPs get it later, but right now it's for the real supporters. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. And you've been a pioneer at that. I remember talking with you, well over a year or two ago, and you were already strategizing like, nah, we're going to do it like this to the DSPs eventually. But this is a lot of hard work and skill. You know what I'm saying? So, you got to monetize it. My brother, congratulations on a new project.
These DSPs don't care about us, man.
That's true.
These DSPs don't care about us. Like just not to get off on a rant and shit, but talking about botching releases during the first month of the M.I.ALIENS drop, Spotify decided that one of the songs had been on a botted playlist, and Spotify literally took our album down in the middle of the run, and we were doing some great numbers on that album. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, they took the album out. Like so, it took a couple weeks to get it back on Spotify and all that shit. But at that point, the momentum was done. You feel me? So
Wow.
that was just one of those things that, like you said, in our last interview, I was already on that wave, and that was just something that just further pushed me. Where I'm like, man, fuck these Spotify, like
Yeah,
fuck this. You
absolutely.
know what I'm saying?
You're the talent. You're the artist. They're
Yeah.
just the
And
platform.
what's crazy to me is, okay, you're telling me my shit got on a botted playlist. I know for a fact I didn't pay for any bots or anything like that. So why take down the album? Why not take down the playlist? You know what I'm saying? Like if it's a botted playlist, then you're already telling me what the problem is. Go solve the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like don't fucking take it out on my album and shit, man. But you know, it is what it is, bro. Like I said, it just illustrated how much we need to use Spotify. I'm not dissing Spotify. Use it for you know what I'm saying? Like we're dropping our singles on Spotify right now, but the album is not gonna be on Spotify for a little while. You know what I'm saying? If you want the album, you could get it on Bandcamp. You can listen to the singles on Spotify. That's cool, you know what I mean? But the album's gonna be on Bandcamp.
That's dope. That's a dope strategy. So it's like it's out there, but not the whole cohesive pulp nonfiction album. You got to go to the artist page on Bandcamp for that, and eventually the whole discography gets out there. But when it's hot, you got to go watch the movie in the movie theater, right? It's not on Netflix.
Thank you. Thank you. You know what I mean? So that's a great analogy, bro. So Bandcamp is the movie theater. You know what I mean? So I need y'all to come to the movie theater and watch the flick. You know, you could get the previews on Spotify. It's all good.
That's good. That's good, bro. My brother, it's always an honor to have you on. I'm excited about the new project dropping Friday, Pulp Nonfiction. My brother Shottie, woo, Lupara, super production team.
Yes,
Man,
sir. Yes,
salute my
sir.
brother. Salute my brother. We'll build soon.
You a go, man. Thanks for having me on,
Thank you,
homie.
my brother.
Yep.
Peace.